Hey everyone, it's Sundays with Hayden. I haven't posted in maybe like a week or two. I got a little busy, and now we're switching Sundays to the end of the week. Because we were figuring out the topics on Sundays, so it was hard for me to make a video on good time. This week's topic is how being or identifying as trans has affected views, whether that's friends, family, society, or yourself. So I'm going to begin with friends. When I came out, everyone was really supportive. There were some friends who were confused, but they either didn't ask or they came to me with any questions they had on how I identify and how I came to terms with that and why and that kind of thing. And most people have been really supportive. Haven't really come up with many issues with anyone. Family, there's been a lot of mixed views. I guess that's where a lot of the change has been for me. I won't go into too much detail, but like some people in my family have been really supportive from the beginning. Some people have like kind of tried to ignore it. Just like a refusal to, one, call me the right name and pronouns, and two, to even acknowledge that like I'm transitioning. Which, I mean, in the end I thought, I was like, well, it's gonna become awkward for them. So I didn't really worry too much about it. While it sucked, and it still does suck, I figured starting testosterone, everything changing, it would become awkward for them in the end. If they were gonna start calling me continuously my birth name and by the wrong pronouns and that kind of thing, it would become really awkward for them. So I let that be kind of their issue. There was lots of confusion, more so than any friends or anyone else, on like why I felt more comfortable identifying as trans than lesbian. My parents sometimes would ask like why that was a big difference, because I seemed happy enough identifying as a lesbian, and that I could just dress however I wanted, but just identify as a lesbian, which sexuality and gender are two different things, and I've tried to explain that, and I think my parents are understanding a lot more now than they had at the beginning, but it is a confusing thing for some people. They don't understand that while I do prefer to date girls, I identify as panromantic, heteroflexive, which is basically I can fall in love with anyone, regardless of their gender or anything like that, but I prefer a woman. But that has nothing to do with identifying as male. I had dated a girl before, and I identified as bisexual at the time. This was about a year ago. And like while that was okay, it wasn't fitting for me. And I've tried to kind of explain that and put that point across, that just because I had dated a girl doesn't mean I was comfortable with who I was. And so, I don't know, I've been explaining that more, and just letting everyone take their time in figuring it out and that kind of thing. But yeah, family was the main change. People didn't know when or how to start using the correct name and pronouns. They're getting better at that. Everyone's trying to use the correct name and pronouns now, which I really appreciate. Society-wise, there's not too many issues now, especially since I'm 3 months on testosterone as of today. I pass really well in public. I've had no issues going into public restrooms. I haven't actually gone into any men's restrooms with multiple stalls or like urinals or anything. I've only actually gone into like gas station restrooms and that kind of thing. Well, I guess the closest to multiple stalls is I go into restrooms with many stalls at my college. And at the beginning, it was, I think it confused some people, especially before I started testosterone. And then also for people who didn't know I had come out, they kind of were confused why I was there, but no one really said anything. But yeah, I passed really well in public, so there hasn't really been many issues society-wise based off of that. Otherwise, being trans in the society that we have now can be difficult. It's difficult when I have to show people my like an ID. I can sometimes use just my school ID that has my preferred name and a picture of me 1 month on testosterone, so it doesn't fully look close to what I look like now, but it's better than showing like my driver's license that has my birth name and a more feminine photo on it, because a lot of people look at it and they're like, who did you steal your sister's ID? Like, what? There was one time me and my friends got pulled over because the license plate light was out, and I had handed, me and my friend Nick had handed over our licenses, and the officer came back and he was like, are you, who, what? We had to show our preferred IDs with our preferred names and pictures and explain a little more so that like he understood that that was us, but we look a lot different now. So there's like that. It's going to be difficult getting jobs if I don't change my name soon, I guess, soon-ish. It'll be awkward for having to put like my birth name down, and then just the confusion of having to explain all of that. Hopefully I can change that soon enough and not really have to worry about that too much when I apply for jobs, because that just confuses a lot of people in our society. For myself, since coming out, I've continuously become more confident and comfortable. Right after coming out as trans, I was nervous on everyone's reactions, but I felt more comfortable in my own skin. Like getting my binder, I started feeling more comfortable, just figuring everything out. I was just getting more and more comfortable, less just saying that I was awkward, because I'm an awkward person, but that's not all I am. And that used to be kind of all I let myself be. But especially being on testosterone now, I'm more confident, more comfortable in my own skin and like how I look. And since starting testosterone, I've also, my friends have noticed that I talk a lot louder, which comes with just that kind of confidence. My views on myself have just only gotten better. But yeah, that's, I think, all I have to say about the change in views. Otherwise, I think all the other guys have covered a lot too, a lot of good information. And I will see you all next Sunday.